It's like, no, I don't think you're going to have a good weekend this weekend because he threw it off. That's his action. And the regulations say, no, you've got to cross the line, or the way we interpret it is crossing the line or not. You're going to start at the back of the grid. Hello race driver, it's Enzo with the Race Driver Coach Show. Off the back of another race weekend that didn't go to plan. Imola. Ollie Bearman out Q1 with a P10 time. Come on guys, he made that line, you know he did. So he went across the line, just after, like 1 second, 2 seconds after, the panel went red because Colapinto threw it off and Ollie lost his lap. If you saw it, it took him ages to decide. So there's lots of different versions of what happened there, but it inspired what I'm going to talk about today, because not all the time does a race weekend go to plan. In fact, it can be like that for a whole season. You can be doing no wrong as a driver, but you just can't. You just say, like, come on, throw me a bone for God's sake. There's always something holding me back or going wrong that makes me underperform or makes me look like a chump when actually I'm better than all these other chumps on the track. It's annoying, right? But it's life. And as a coach, I'm the one that has to come up with the answers. So when a driver's struggling, or even if they're not, still working with them obviously, but when they're struggling, they need to know what they can do to turn it around. So I have solutions. I have things that I do that not only compartmentalize things and allow it to be manageable and approach things in a very thorough way, so we find out what's going on so we can change things, but also it keeps me sane. Because if I just hear what the driver says in a session or when I'm working for them, I can only take what they say as being gospel. I have to find out what really happened in all the different areas, the team and all this stuff. So I have to come up with systems that allow me to do that. And what I use to do that, you can use to become a better driver, to become a better CEO, whatever it is that you do in life. Just to say, right, I've got to look at performance as a whole. I've got to separate the things I can control and the things I can only influence and the things I really can't control, so I don't go insane again. This is what I want to speak about today. And I'm going to throw a few things up on the screen just to show you exactly what I mean, because I like to put things in boxes so I can put them where they belong. If you're a listener of my shows, you know exactly what I'm getting at here. So to start this off, let me talk you through the 6 areas that I think are really important to a result. They're the ingredients that can influence a result massively. And if we just look at them for what they are, we can train the right ways and we can plan and pretty much keep on course and keep you growing as a performer, developing. Okay, here we go. The first area that I find as being very instrumental, influential on the result is the driver's performance. That's box number 1. That's the one that you've got the most control over. Everything from your preparation to how you performed in qualifying. Did you use practice as much as you could in the right way? Are you driving well? Are you driving correctly? Are you prepping the tires? What's your racecraft like? What's your first lap what's your starts like? And then what's the first lap of a race? Defending. All these things come together to say, oh, the big one, mental performance. How's that going? Are you handling pressure? When someone's behind you, are you staying focused? All this comes together in one nice, tightly wrapped box, which is called driver performance. And that, I would say, is where all your attention, or most, sorry, it's nearly incorrect, most of your attention should go. Because you're a performer, so your attention should be on your performance. Box number 2 is your car's performance. Goes without saying. The engine, the setup, how the car is performing in general, the chassis, the tires, all of it, the wheels. Is it performing to the maximum? Is there a part of that, an element of that mechanical piece of art that you drive around the track? Is it all working as it should? The bearings, rolling resistance, are the settings that you put on it, the car setup, is the car reacting the right way? Is it slipping through the air well enough? This, again, is a big area, but that's why it's called motorsport, right? Because you've got the motor, you're the sport bit, but then you've got the motor, which is the car. That's how it started, motorsport. I've got a faster car than you, Let's prove it. And the sport evolved. Then the drivers started to come in and say, actually, the driver can make a bit of a difference and drive the car better than the owner. And then you're off to a sport. But we've got to focus on also the car has got a big say in whether you're going to have a good weekend or not. So you've got the driver's performance and the cars. Next up, the team performance. How well are they performing? Now, if we're talking the F1 team, it's very deep. It's very wide. Because you've got how are the individual people working in their roles? Are they doing a good enough job? Are they spread too thin? Are they working together well? Are they giving the driver the information they need? Are they good enough for their role? Are the pit stops good? All these things, strategy, it's wide, right? So when it comes to team performance, there's a lot to speak about. But as you whittle down to a club racer, there's probably only one person running the car, one person delivering the car, the same person. Maybe it's the same person that's actually even driving the car. So then that person, when you come in to think about how the team performed, it's a lot easier to judge. It's a lot easier to influence. But you've got to know yours. How are your team performing? The people that are providing you with the car, or if it's yourself, step away from being a driver for a moment and look at the processes. Are we actually doing things in a way that's helping us get the best result out of a race weekend? Or are we letting ourselves down? Or is the team that I'm paying letting me down by putting this junior mechanic on the car, keeps making mistakes on my behalf? Again, it's endless. It's another can of worms. But it's an area that you need to look at and make sure that you are influencing in the right way to make it help it perform better, but you've got to look at the performance of that. The fourth one that influences results are other people's actions. Outside of the team, outside of you as the driver, as the performer, you can be performing at anything, right, and do these 6 boxes. You're just going to change what's in them, right? But who else could influence the result in some way? Have a think about it. Other drivers, stewards, clerk of the courses, scrutineers, parents, managers. There might be people around you that also have a say. And even if it's just 1% that can influence, you've got to make sure that they're performing well as well in order for you to have a good race weekend. This came into this weekend, which I'll explain again in a minute, but let's move to the 5th box, regulations. Bit of a strange one, this, right? But that's why I wanted to wait until I said about this weekend. What we had this weekend with Oliver Bearman, and actually with Liam as well, was a red flag, is think about other people's actions. Colapinto going off into the gravel, into the wall, causing regulations a red flag. Crossed the line, went red. The regulations then said, if you haven't crossed the line before the red box comes on the panel, then your lap wheel count or won't count. A person then is that other people's actions then decides whether to listen to that regulation or to bend it a little bit or see it in their own way. You know what I mean? So all these things, this is just 2 boxes, come together to say whether the weekend's going to be a good one or not. So the driver performed well, good enough for Q2, maybe good enough for Q3. The car was good, the team was good. So looking at Oliver Bearman again, the first 3 boxes, tick, 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 everything's going sweet until Colapinto binned it. Then it all kicked off, and box 4 and 5 had a say in this. Like, no, I don't think you're going to have a good weekend this weekend because he threw it off. That's his action. And the regulations say, no, you've got to cross the line, or the way we interpret it is crossing the line or not. You're going to start at the back of the grid. So this is how influential these boxes are, right? You have to get ticks across the board in order for you to have a good race weekend. Really difficult. The 6th one, even more difficult. It's sheer luck. Okay, you can call that bad luck, someone throwing it off, but it could be the weather. It could be something broke on the car. I was in the lead and the engine went, and it was unforeseeable because it was a part of the engine that's nowhere near its life yet. You know, we change them, we life all the parts, and we make sure we change them before they're at the end of their expiration date or mileage or kilometers. So it's a freak thing, shouldn't have happened. It's luck. Luck is something that I think we can influence but really not control. It is how we represent it to ourselves. We change the meaning of something external to internal The translation of that is where it happens in luck. When you get in bad luck, how do you see it? How do you translate it? Is there anything you can do about it? If not, let it go. Learn from it and let it go. That is just the way it is. And it can happen the other way. You can have a spin in the wet, then there was a slight dry patch just before the edge of the track, which helped the tyres grip and you carried on, you still won the race. That's sheer luck. Admit it. You think it's skill, but you thought it was gone. Hands are off the wheel. I'm going in. Oh no, it's gripped. Let's go. That's sheer luck. So it works both ways. All these boxes work both ways, to be honest, man. You got the driver, the car, the team, other people's actions, regulations, luck. They can either work for you or they can go against you. Your job is obviously to look after box number one, the driver first, but then influence the others as much as you can, or prepare for them, or act in a way that helps them other boxes have a tick and go your way as well. So if it is regulations and you're blaming the track limits, maybe you should learn to drive just slightly within them a little bit more. That sort of thing you can influence. You can even nearly control that one. So just look at them now, these 6 boxes or areas, and use them. Not only to say, what can I do in each of the areas, especially the first 3, what can I do before the next race weekend to really maximize and prepare and get the most out of them 3 areas, but also as a debrief. So, right, what can I learn about my driving over the last race weekend, over this race weekend? How was it? How can we improve? What can we do next time? Brilliant. Same with the car. What was it like? All the areas you can think of. What can we do to improve it? Team. Come on, team. There's got to be things we can do to improve. I think you can talk to me in a different way over the radio because it's winding me up when I'm under pressure. That is a team aspect. I think we can be quicker on pit stops, whatever it is. Have a look at it in a productive way. Look at the weekend. I think we can do this better. We did these things really good, by the way, but I think we can do these things a little bit better. Let's do that next time out. Hold them accountable. First 3 boxes, then you think you're in control. Then it comes to the last 3, which are a little bit more out of your control, but we can still change the way we see them and kind of try and influence them. That is how I look at things as a coach. That's how I separate the result from the performance. Because whether it's a P1, I'll look at the 6 boxes, evaluate, what can we do better? If it's a P30, I'll look at the 6 boxes, what can we evaluate, what can we do better? It's the same. If you're the same every single time you go to the track and approach your craft each day, and the results don't make your motivation go up and down, you'll be an absolute animal.